it's a childish take on Tolkien's view.
Let's take a look at this scene with Elrond, Gil-galad, and Galadriel.
Those rings are more than our last hope.
More than the last
The
hope.
last hope for all Middle-earth. It is a risk we must chance to take. Give them to me.
Wait. So they're saying these rings are bad. These 3 rings are actually...
So yeah, they're leaning into the whole all rings are bad because power is bad.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess
Yeah.
that's the thing. It's a childish take on Tolkien's view, but they're apparently now going to pit Elrond against everyone. Everyone wants the rings, but Elrond doesn't. Gil-galad was the one that wouldn't let Anatar come into his realm. Gil-galad was the one that eventually opposed him. He was the one. I mean, like the fact that Elrond went along, like they wanted. First of all, the 3 rings weren't made until the end. And so this just doesn't exist, this whole discussion. But there's just which they've of course written themselves in a corner with it. Oh my gosh. Also,
yeah.
Elrond.
So the rings, right? They were not tainted by Sauron. Let's remember that these 3 rings are the ones that are not tainted by Sauron, and yet Sauron was already there as Halbrand, tainting them in some way, apparently. Although Gil-galad thinks this is the only hope with the mithril alloy is there to save all of Middle-earth somehow.
High King,
Elrond can't do it.
Sauron has not yet amassed that degree of power. These rings may be how he attains it. They must be destroyed.
So, yeah, the 3 rings are bad. They have to be destroyed. That's what Elrond believes.
That decision is far above your privilege, one you endanger with each moment you refuse to obey.
It's
The
community.
rings.
What? It's community.
This is community theater.
His acting is I don't even know what to call it. It's stilted. It's stiff. It's bland. It's unemotional. It has no.
And look at this
place.
backdrop. Like, I mean, look, this is clearly everything CGI. This is like a sheet dropped down at the back of your community theater they're projecting onto. Even the lighting looks like it too. It doesn't even look like the right lighting. This is terrible. Everything about it is terrible. Even their ears are horrible.
Yeah, what is up with his ears being so huge too? They're very Vulcan now.
Huge and flattened. They go sideways instead of up. The Vulcans went up, and his goes sideways.
All right, let's finish this off, man. How much?
Elrond.
Uh-oh.
It is a command from your king.
Okay. Sorry, that line. That's like, why would you have that line in there? It's kind of, if you haven't established that he's the king yet, for him to say it is a command from your king. If I were editing something, I would go and say, like, you don't, like, show us that he's kingly and that it's a command. Don't tell us. And this is the whole problem with most of the writing, is that they tell us everything that's happening. They never show us. So we have to believe what they tell us without actually any evidence to back it up.
Also he's using the threat of force, elf against elf. Like, that's the last thing that would happen. The reason that it was so terrible, the kinslaying was so terrible, is that elves do not fall into that. Except in unbelievably literally once in a millennia case, or a few millennia.
Yeah, it wouldn't happen here.
And so the fact that he'd be like, so what we're supposed to believe is that apparently his desire for power, save the world, I guess save the world, maybe. But it's supposed to be implied, especially from the look on Elrond's face. I think it's supposed to be implied that somehow Gil-galad and Galadriel are themselves being corrupted by the desire for the rings.
Good point. Yeah.
So now we have ring corruption, because remember in Lord of the Rings how the rings corrupt. The only one
wearing it.
Yeah.
All right. I think you're going to be surprised with what happens at the end, because I have seen this clip here. He won't utter it again.
I will not utter it again.
Yeah. Obey him, says Galadriel. You would say that? Obey him, says Galadriel. Oh, the internal struggle that Elrond must deal with. Oh my. The waterfalls. gonna do, Michael? Michael, what do you think he's gonna do here? What if you had to guess? He's standing with his back to Galadriel and Elrond.
It's like chucking the Silmarils over the court. That famous Mithros painting.
Oh, into this, yep. I know which one you mean. Throwing the last Silmaril into the sea.
Right. So
you think he's going to do that with the rings? Throw them over the edge?
No, I mean he'll probably give it to them, but I mean it'd be awesome. It'd be perfect community theater if he throws them over the edge.
Okay. Well, let's see what happens. Let's see.
Ubelin Karatan.
Elrond cannot give them to him. He says, "Oh boy, what's he going to do?"
Istiki Ubelin.
You know I cannot.
Genplotting.
Sees him, says, "Oh, elf on elf violence." Gil-galad. Elrond, no, he just jumps into the. Michael, that's what he does. He jumps into over the cliff into the falling water of the waterfall because elves are indestructible. No elf that has ever fallen from a great height has been Never mind, Glorfindel.
Yeah. Okay.
So Elrond is
all the elves are corrupted by Sauron, by the rings, the 3 elven rings, no less, except Elrond. The half elf isn't, and so he jumps to his death, apparently.
But we know it's not his death because everything.
Sure, I know. We know it's not his death, but like in the moment. Has he done this before? I mean, is this like a high diving spot? I mean,
maybe. Maybe this is. Wait. Maybe this is where the eagles come in and save him.
Oh, don't.
You know?
Please don't let that happen.
Maybe we missed the moth that was flying by right here to show us.
Don't let this happen. Oh, are you telling me you've seen this and that's what happens?
No, that's not what happens. I don't know, but I'm just guessing.
You might be right.
Look at that. This is like Victoria Falls at least it looks like it, in Africa. Huge waterfalls. Nobody would survive this amount of. Everybody remember, the elves die in battle. They can get mortally wounded physically and perish. So jumping into a waterfall is not exactly a way to survive.
No, there's a super deep pool at the bottom of it, Jonathan. That's why.
Oh, that's right. And the water doesn't actually have any issues. Right. There's no rocks at the bottom.
Water doesn't act like concrete at a great distance, or jumping from a great height. There are no rocks. This is Hollywood, right? In Hollywood, everyone knows. Just like you can never be hurt by an explosion you don't look at that's behind you.
Yeah.
Right. Also, you can jump off any waterfall. You just you never splat yourself on a rock.
Well, I will say, I don't know if you remember Galadriel. She told the Grand Army of Numenor not to fight with their arms, but to fight with their feet.
Fight with your feet, not your arms.
And this is exactly what Elrond does. He leaps off. He's fighting with his feet.
Good call. Like it. All right. All
right. There you have it, everybody. That's our review.
Everything is awesome. Everything is silly.
No, not here.